Thank you, President Cavaluto, Board of Trustees, distinguished guests, families, friends, and my fellow graduates. Good morning. My name is Mustapha, and I'm gonna do my absolute best to stick to this script. No promises. Came to the University of Kentucky from Egypt when I was 17 years old. I was alone with $1,000 in cash and barely enough English to survive a conversation. On my first day, I had one priority: make friends fast. I went to the front desk of Blazer Hall and asked Kaya where I could find the nearest market. She told me Target was a 5-minute walk. I had never heard of Target. I went to the front. I walked in looking for chocolate and recognized exactly one thing: Kit Kat. So I bought some, put them in a bowl in the common area of my door. I left a note that said, "A gift to my new family." I did not have a family here yet. I was getting ahead of myself, but it worked. That's how I made my first friends at UK. In the grand scheme of things, it was just chocolate, but it turned out to be the first move in a playbook I would use for the next 4 years. Give something, don't overthink it, and be a little surprised when something comes back. That bowl of Kit Kats was my first lesson here. When you put something out into the world tends to respond. My family couldn't make it to the ceremony today. They should be watching the live stream. I hope they're watching the live stream. And yet, I'm surrounded by family. That has been the truth of my entire time here. I could give you the version of the story where I arrived alone, fought through it in silence, and clawed my way to 3 engineering degrees with sheer grit. LinkedIn people would love it, but that's just not the truth. I was never alone. There was Professor Nunez who taught me what Canvas is. I was so confused for 2 weeks hearing Canvas this, Canvas that. It's like, who's Canvas? Never met that guy. Never, you guys are ready. And I decided early, there was Miss Karen from the international office who helped me open a bank account here. There was my advisor, Mr. Hicks, who's the only reason I graduated in 4 years. There were RAs, TAs, friends, and strangers who kept showing up before I even knew the words to ask. And I decided early on to let them. I could have come here and kept my head down. English is not my first language. I come from a completely different culture. By every logical measure, I could have let myself be received as an outsider. Instead, I decided to take everything this place had to offer unapologetically, without shame, without waiting for an invitation. This place gave me everything. Gave me friends from all over the world. My best friend is Australian. I don't know if I can see him. Did you guys hear that? My best friend is Australian. It's very cool. My girlfriend is American Brazilian. I found a world here bigger than anything I imagined when I first landed. My freshman year, all of International Village backed into Blazer Hall lobby for the World Cup final. French, Nigerian, Brazilian, American, German, British, Japanese, and the coolest of them all, Egyptian, holding our breath. When Messi scored in the shootout, the room erupted. People were jumping, screaming, dropping to their knees. None of us were even rooting for Argentina. We were just hating on France. Whenever you guys are ready. I looked around and thought, if I arrived here alone, I'm not anymore. That's what this place does, and focus on this. It makes you feel like you belong in rooms you never expected to be in. One day I was sitting in class watching a guy next to me struggle through a math problem. I said to him, "You're really bad for an engineering student." He looked at me and said, "You sound like Gru from Despicable Me." That's Caleb. He's sitting right over there. Love you, buddy. Weeks later, he asked me if my parents were coming for family weekend. I said, yeah, they're flying in from Egypt just for this. He didn't know that they didn't even come for commencement. But anyways, he looked genuinely impressed. I let him sit with it for a second, and then I was like, no, dude, no, they're not coming. He said, okay, come hang out with my family then. Just like that. Since then, I've become so close with his family that now I have an American mom. She calls to check on me. She rescued me when my car got towed. She invites me over for Christmas, make sure I have presents under the tree. Thank you. I did not plan for any of that. I just made a joke in pre-calc. That is the thing about Kentucky that I could not have understood before I got here. There is something about the people here, a kind of instinctive generosity that doesn't need context. You do not have to explain yourself, you do not have to earn it, you just have to be present. Once, my car broke down near campus. I'm on the side of the road, covered in grease, hands burned because my smart butt thought I can reach under the hood when my radiator just exploded. An older man cutting grass nearby came over. Thick Appalachian accent. I did not understand a thing. I said, what? He said, he didn't understand my accent. So he said, what? And then I said, what? If I keep saying what, you're just going to keep laughing. That's awesome. I said what, and we were friends from then on. Our communication looked like this. I was driving. My car exploded. I'm from Egypt. You know, Egypt. In Egypt. He took me to get cleaned up. Helped push the car after having a heart surgery, mind you. And drove me to get the bar, stayed while we fixed it, and paid for everything. He didn't ask for a dime, because that's just what Kentuckians do. I was there, and I needed help, and that was all there was to it. Yeah, that was great. Belonging, I have learned, is not really about where you're from. It's about who shows up for you. And sometimes that person had no particular reason to and did it anyway. So, if I could leave the class of 2026 with one piece of advice, it would be this. Do not buy a 2006 Mercedes SLK. But other than that, do not wait for life to hand you a script. I wrote that one, but you don't wait for life to hand you a script. And my girlfriend helped me. Good things do not come to the people who grind in silence, or play it safe, or wait to feel ready. They come to the people who are already in motion, already offering something, already in the room. So, wherever you're going, whether you have a plan or absolutely no idea, whether you feel ready or you're faking it, which is exactly the same thing, go there as yourself, the full virgin and nothing less. Pour yourself into whatever comes next. The world has a way of organizing itself around people who are not waiting for permission. If I had a million chances to choose a university thousands of miles away from home, I would choose the University of Kentucky every single time. Come on, come on, come on. Because somewhere between Egypt and Kentucky, between Target and Blazer Hall, between 3 engineering degrees and 1 very regrettable car purchase, I learned this world has way more room for you than you think. You just have to walk through the door first. So, class of 2026, pour a bowl of Kit Kats and trust that all the good things meant for you will come without you even having to try. Thank you. Love you, people.